was a little over a year ago, DHS reached out to connected families and said, we would like to contract your agency to help us open homes, kinship homes. That contract began as a pilot up in Northwest Arkansas. And somewhere in there in the fall of 2025, they expanded it to Sebastian County. And that has gone very, very well. Kinship homes it's kind of a blanket term, really. I think technically there's two. It would be for provisional kinship, which is a relative. Fictive kin would be a friend of some kind. We've just been calling it all kinship. They knew since we were a pilot and we were smaller in number in the Fort Smith office where we office, they were going to just kind of slowly roll it out for us. But it's up and going because I've said, "Do you have any more? Do you have any more? Do you have any more?" Because I look at this opportunity as getting the mission field brought to me. And I have loved what I call home missions since my first mission trip in seventh grade. God has placed that on my heart. And I love going into the homes. Most of them are unchurched population. This is a blessing, a privilege, us getting to go into their home because they're
Yeah.
not recruited homes. But so far, we have 12 that we have not opened and 4 that we have, and I want them to keep coming. I want to be able to continue our team to walk into their home and them know that we're going to love you and respect you, even if we
Mm.
don't believe the same.
One of those things that is fun to help people understand is our agency's desire is to rebuild, strengthen, and restore families. And so many times with foster care, the focus is on the child. And totally understandable. The child has experienced some sort of abuse and neglect. We need to get them into a safe, loving environment where they can thrive. But
Mm-hmm.
the desire of our agency is not just to stop there. We want to help rebuild that family. And in our foster care side of things, so much of that work has been done by helping the child. And like you mentioned, like we're always trying to go further than that. And once this child goes back home, let's engage with the family and not just help them like with tangible needs and things, but also we are people of faith and there's no way we can separate the gospel from everything we're doing. And now being able to work with kinship homes, it's them coming to us. So instead of us only working with the child and trying to get inroads with that family, we're directly impacting that family. It might not be the biological parents, but it's the family as a whole.
When we first had the meeting about kinship home and the contract and all, I was of the understanding that they were going to ask the family if they would be comfortable with Connected coming into their home and working with them on getting their home licensed. And I've not heard anybody say no yet. And I also believe that at least it's held true, that when we approach the unbeliever respectfully and with grace and humility, they are going to see the Jesus that we want them to see. And generally, they're not going to shut down that support. I use the word beautiful, but it is a beautiful thing watching missions happen in such a privilege. I don't have to travel anywhere else in the United States. I'm right here in my neck of the woods. And that is exciting to me. If you have a heart for missions, here it is, people. Here
Yeah.
it is. And as Henry Blackaby said years ago with his Bible study, Experiencing God, look around, see where God's moving, and then jump in.
Mhm.
Well, God is moving in the River Valley, and I want people to join us. We need other believers, and there's strength in numbers. And I'd said to somebody the other day, the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it still takes a village to raise a foster child. And so we need our village to circle the wagons so
Yeah.
that these kids can know the love of Christ. And that is our responsibility, period.